Hello, hello, hello. My name is Ryan Musser, as you may or may not know, and welcome to my little technical overview and tutorial on how to use this cool little FanDuel lineup builder that I've put together. For those of you that aren't familiar with what FanDuel is, it's a fantasy basketball app that it gives you a budget of 60,000 fake dollars. And then you go through and it values players. These numbers may be a little bit small, so you might want to full screen this to get the most up close and personal idea of what we're covering here. But if you can see here, the values that FanDuel assigns to players are here in this column. So it gives you an outline of one center and then two of each other position, and then says, okay, here's $60,000. Put your team together, and then there's a large pool of other players that have picked teams. So your team goes against them, and whichever team scores the most fantasy points wins. Wins the tournament. So what is the issue? The issue is that the FanDuel interface is kind of difficult to navigate. Um, it doesn't it doesn't allow you to sort. It doesn't allow you to look at sorting by single category, sorting by minutes, sorting by opponents. None of that. So that's kind of it's difficult. And one other thing that I've added in here is there's another website called Basketball Monster. So there's a whole industry actually built around separate interfaces from these fantasy games, the actual fantasy interfaces themselves, that's popped up that helps people sort. It calculates projected fantasy points for the player, and then based on the price, calculates that player's value. So if you go look at Basketball Monster and look at their daily tool, it's basketballmonster.com, you can see their comparable tool, and that's kind of the industry standard. It's really gross. It's not Ajaxy at all. Every time you select a player, the page will refresh and jump up to the top. It's terrible. It's some ASPX whatever, really old school, type of interface. So what I wanted to add, and actually before I move on, the data here, the NBA season's over now. The regular season's over. So this interface was scraping the data out of their website and then uploading it here on a daily basis so that my friends could come in here and use this thing, and a couple other people that I showed it to. But that's not happening anymore. I'll turn the cron job back on once next season starts, 2016-2017. But for now, it's just going to be this one static data set until Basketball Monster reopens their program. So what I was going for here was more of a live feel, more of an interactive feel here. You can see I've got this visual budget, average remaining salary, and then I've got kind of like an ESPN style scroller at the top that's going to show you the highest projected value players. And it's also, after this, it's going to show you just the overall who's projected to score the most points. So, one other thing. This little widget here is just pulling tweets from Roto World Basketball and plopping them in here. So that was updating, like, I think every hour or so to a cache. And this is all cached, by the way. This is pulling every hour or so to a cache state, and then reading off that. Okay, so the interface itself, as you can see, I've got all these pretty graphs and bars and stuff that updates as you're clicking players. So you can see here it's going to show you your projected points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, turnovers. And This is one of my favorite aspects. It's going to show you your average remaining salary per player, and then it's going to kind of give you this cool little visual, you know, bar chart, circular bar chart, bar graph, um, that's going to show you how much of your budget you have left. Um, and then you're also going to see your players over here as you add them. Um, and I don't know if you can tell, you may have to full screen it, but the colors here are indicative of the values, relative values. So what does that mean? So if I sort here by highest points, just overall points, you will see that based on all the other players, this is going to be bright green because he's the highest valued guy, right? But you'll see this is like a little more army green because he's not necessarily the highest valued guy. So if I sort by value and add this guy, you'll see his overall points scored are red. It's low. It's not, it's not great compared to the other guys that are going to get you up in 30s, 40s, But for $3,500, he's bright green because that's a super high value for the amount of money you're spending. So I wrote this little jQuery, um, function. If you want to go look at the repository, it's in there if you're interested in it. But I wrote this little jQuery function that kind of helps you visualize this that way as well. And one other thing you'll see here is the value and the score will get brighter green the higher you are. So if let's say I come in here and pick a whole team of zeros. Okay, it's just gray. It's nothing. So if I clear the team out, if I come in here and pick based on points, the highest possible points I can put up, let's get it way up there, all the way up. You'll see it starts to get more green. Okay, this one's a little more green. This one can be higher. So if I clear my team and I just go based on value now, see all these guys are in the 50s. This is brighter green and this is more gray. So it's just a little way to help you visualize where you're at relatively. Another cool thing about this interface is that if I clear my team off here, oops. If I clear my team off here, and I just go down this list, let's say it's ordered by most expensive guys. If I just go down this list, you'll see if I pick my center, I can't pick another center. So based on what's happening up here, it's going to gray out. It's going to essentially guide me through and not allow me to mess up my team. So I could click literally any player. There's no possible way, and it does it with the money as well. There's no possible way I can go over budget or pick outside of my positions. So I picked the expensive guys, so I've got to go all the way down the list here. See, so I just clicked every first guy, and it guided me to a perfect 0. Although you'll see that's not very high compared to, I think we had 275 projected earlier. But so you can see how this is pretty cool to mess around with. Then I can come in here and pump my budget back up. It's going to recalculate every time. Yeah, got a little bug here that's not going to pull one of these players off here. That's weird. I need to check that out. So yeah, like I said, you can sort here by minutes. This is just a jQuery data table. Um, sort by points. You can sort by all this stuff. And you can type in here. Let's say I want to find the Curry brothers. Curry. Type in Curry, and there they are. Those two. Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol. There he is. Yeah, so it's just a kind of more headache-free way and more guided way to come in here and build these lineups, just with some cool data visualization stuff that makes the whole process a little bit more fun. Okay, well, I will put the link to the IP address to the droplet that this is hosted on if you want to go mess around. Like I said, it'll be back up next season and working on a nightly basis. And I will also put the link to my repository where this is located at. So in case any of you want to pull it and mess around with it, you can feel free to do that. If you do, please give it a star. I'd appreciate that mucho, mucho. Otherwise, folks, anything else, any other questions, concerns, comments, I just feel free to leave a comment, and I will, respond back to you as soon as I can. All right. Thank you for taking the time, if you're still here with me, to watch this whole video. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the work. And next season, you can put it to good use. All right. Thank you, people. Appreciate you, and I will check in with you soon.